If you're a right-handed player, you want to think right shoulder and right hip going through the golf ball. Okay. Hey golfers, Tony McMullen, the founder of Smart Golf Academy here. Today we're going to talk about how to attack the golf course with your fairway woods. How to turn those par fives into a great scoring opportunity and hit the ball a little bit more solid off the ground with a fairway wood. But before we get to that, we'd love it if you give us a like and a subscribe to our channel. The channel's really growing. We're starting to see a lot of great results from the content we're putting out. People are starting to enjoy the game more, starting to play better, starting to score better. All the things that we had hoped for. But we would love to hear from you. If there's something in your game that you feel like you could do better or benefit from more, shoot us a line. Let us know what those things are, and maybe we can make a video that can help you with your game. Now, without further ado, let's get to attacking the golf course with your fairway wood, okay? So a couple of scenarios here. Maybe you've bombed a drive on a par 5, and you've got a good opportunity to go for the green in 2, but you're going to have to use your fairway wood to get there, obviously. Or possibly, let's go the other way, maybe you hit a less than a good drive on a longer par 4, and all of a sudden you're faced with a long second shot that you probably need a fairway wood to get yourself up around the green where you can chip and or even on the green where you might be able to 2-putt and save your par. A lot of people struggle with those scenarios, hitting the ball off the ground with a fairway wood. And these are the two biggest, or I should say the two chief reasons that I've seen as an instructor for most people. Number one, they don't turn enough when they go through the ball. They kind of stop, they hit at the ball, and their turn stops here, and the arms take the club the rest of the way. You start really, if that's the case for you, you really start to decelerate when you get right about here, so you're losing club head speed, which is going to result in a loss of ball speed and, of course, a loss of distance. Not to mention that it's hard to be accurate from that position when you're stopping your body. The fix for that, simpler than you might think. If you're a right-handed player, you want to think right shoulder and right hip going through the golf ball. Okay, so you're turning all the way through here. You want to feel like if you have a club across your shoulders, that as you turn, you're able to turn your right hip and your right shoulder together to the target. Okay. Now, if you can do that while you're looking at the golf ball, even better. But you just want to feel like the same thing you'd feel if you were throwing, say, a football and you want to throw it down the field further. You probably wouldn't stop your body motion here and let your arm take it the rest of the way. You'd let your body rotate all the way to the target. So right shoulder would go all the way down the field, and your right hip, of course, would go with it. That's going to help you turn more efficiently. So that's number one, getting more turn as you're hitting the ball. Number two, and this one's equally important, a little harder to find, but not impossible, and that is figuring out what plane should I be swinging on to hit a ball off the ground to launch it up in the air. A couple of things. Number one, I think it was 3 weeks ago, we put out a video on the driver, how to hit the driver straighter and further with a little flatter swing plane. And the visual we gave you was a low ceiling, and you wanted to swing underneath that ceiling. So that would have promoted more of a swing that was more around you, more rotational, and it would have squared the club face a little bit quicker. Okay. The problem with hitting a ball off the ground, whereas that's promoting hitting a ball off the tee, now we got to hit it off the ground. We got to have two things. We got to be just steep enough to hit down on the ball to compress it, and yet just shallow enough to launch it with speed at our target. Simple way to find that. If you swing and you have, you've got a ball obviously on the ground, if you make a swing, you want to hear just a slight thump, okay? Not a heavy thump. We're not looking to hit down on it. And you also don't want to swing and completely miss the ground altogether. Some players do that purposely because they feel like they need to pick it off the ground. Your club is not designed for that. The bottom half of the club, the bottom half of the face, is not really as reactive as, say, the middle of the face. We'd like to hit the ball more in the middle of the face. To do that, we have to have just a slight amount of forward shaft lean there for the club to hit ball and ground at the same time and the ball to come out of the middle of the face. So again, swing a little flatter until you start missing the ground, okay? And then you just want to get just ever so slightly steeper until you hear the thump, okay? You can hear that thump there. right? When you hear the thump, when you feel the thump, that's probably the right plane for you. Now, if you have access to a launch monitor, you may be able to kind of average out your angle of attack and create a feel with the science. But if you don't have that, just listen for the thump. The thump should be right around where the ball is. So when you take your practice swings, I got a golf ball right there. I'm looking to hear the thump and feel the thump right about where the ball is, okay? So we're going to turn all the way through it. We're going to find a plane that gives us a slight thump. Once we've done that, we're going to set up to the ball, make a good swing, listen for the thump. Just like that right there. You're launching it down the fairway, and you got a good chance of getting on in 2 for a par 5, and a good chance of recovering with a nice second shot on a drive you might have otherwise missed. So for more tips like these, go to smartgolfacademy.org, the online academy. We're going to make you a better player.